Just yesterday, we paid tribute to some of those heroes by celebrating the United States Marine Corps 246th birthday. And Bill, I know you're a Vietnam veteran, but also you are a retired Marine as well. And so we are very appreciative of the service of people in every single branch. People who have served our country with honor and bravery have a choice of where they live. And I believe they choose Houston because we are a welcoming and diverse city that values service to country and honors the sacrifice of those who have fought for freedom and liberty. The very fact that they have served and fought, many have died, make it possible for us to assemble right here on the steps of City Hall. That didn't just happen on its own. Houston also has an affordable cost of living, resilient economy, and Houston has a tremendous number of organizations providing vital services to our veterans, like the remarkable VA hospital, and many of our heroes called Houston and Harris County their home. Our veterans have served in every branch of the military and in every era, during peace and during war. They contribute to our community at every level, in large and small businesses, government services, nonprofit leaders. And I'm proud to say that the city of Houston, with its 27 departments, have a combined active duty Guard Reserve and veteran population that comprises nearly 15% of the city's workforce. In essence, more than 3,300 city employees are veterans. Since 2008, the Mayor's Office of Veterans and Military Affairs has provided daily support for veterans, active duty personnel, and their family members. And we have worked alongside partners like the VA, Harris County, and so many others to ensure our heroes don't fall through the cracks. And for those who have fallen on difficult times, we have many partners offering support to help them get back on their feet. As the population of veterans in Houston continues to grow and become even more diverse, the City of Houston and its Office of Veteran and Military Affairs will continue to evolve to meet the needs of our veterans. Today, we are also honoring the brave service members who lost to the war on terrorism by hosting the Remember the Fallen 9/11 Fallen Warriors Memorial traveling exhibit located around the Reflection Pond. And I hope you stay with us a little bit later this morning as we have the Veterans Day Parade following this morning's ceremony. And I promise you, stay a little bit longer to honor our veterans. The sun will come out. We are honored today to be joined by so many individuals. And I want to thank all of our dignitaries who have shown, all of our elected officials on the federal, state, and local level. And it's only fair that all of us who hold public service, whether by elected office or appointed office, that we take the time to come and pay tribute to those who have paid the sacrifice, the service on so many levels. And so when you look up here, it is quite fitting that you have so many sitting and standing to honor our veterans. Now we are honored today to be joined by our keynote speaker, Dan Patrick Moran, Captain Dan Patrick Moran. He's a native Houstonian, and he's a proud Texas Aggie. Captain Moran currently serves as the lead director for the Moran Family Office and is a decorated combat veteran who served in the global war on terror. He is a recipient of the Purple Heart, Navy Commendation Medal with Valor, Navy Achievement Medal with Valor, and the Combat Action Ribbon after 5.5 years of service as an infantry officer. Captain Moran medically retired from the United States Marine Corps as a captain. And so, before he gives his remarks, Captain Moran, if I can ask you to join me here. And as we do sometimes, oftentimes on Tuesday, if I can, as we ask members of City Council to join me. America is a land of freedom, preserved and protected willingly and freely by citizen soldiers. Millions have answered the call to arms and have served and sacrificed to preserve the freedom and values that Americans cherish. November 11, 2021 will commemorate the anniversary of the first presidential proclamation to establish an official day of remembrance for the armistice of World War I. Since the official recognition of Armistice Day nearly 9 decades ago, the United States has continued to flourish as a free nation, ever mindful of blessings and liberty and peace secured by dedicated service to their nation, which must be cherished and preserved by future generations. Our nation acknowledges the price of war and the dead oath of those who have served and sacrificed in the field of battle. On November 11, 2021, the annual Veterans Day of Service will honor our nation's veterans and pay tribute to the brave men and women who have served our country with honor. This is especially important this year with men and women in arms way on behalf of our nation around the world. Captain Moran, you symbolize all of what is good in America, and you symbolize the freedom and liberty that many fought for. The city just recognizes this liberty and national tradition of our appreciate the courage and dedication and extend best wishes to all for a meaningful Veterans Day. And therefore, I, Sylvester Turner, Mayor of City of Houston, this day on the 11th, 2021, as Veterans Day, recognizes your service and your dedication. Thank you.
Definitely wasn't expecting that. First off, it's good to be here in my hometown. And the highlight of my day today, with all this, sitting down with Mr. John Jackson, a Korean War veteran, and talking to him. And I had remarks, but you know what? I'm just going to speak from my heart. I'm sorry about that. Okay? My grandfather's a Korean War veteran. Didn't know if he had doubt. And let me sit down with Mr. Jackson and talk about his time in Korea and to be reminded those men are my heroes. The men you see around here that are Vietnam veterans are my heroes. And I've never met the man personally, sisters who have served. Because I remember being a kid, and every time my dad would take me, my brother and I, who was a Marine, infantry officer as well. He got activated and he's helping out with the Afghani refugees that have been brought to this country, that have served our men and women as interpreters and have worked for us and helped us during that time. And we will never abandon them and leave them behind. We got their back. Okay? And I challenge each of y'all here in Houston to make sure you open your arms up, because you're right over here down by HBU, and I'll be there tonight to thank them personally. No cameras, no nothing. To go hug their necks. Because when we were over there doing what we needed to do and taking care of business, they risked everything for us. And now it's our turn to make sure that we are welcoming them with open arms and taking care of them. And as far as I'm concerned, they're Americans. So when I was growing up, my dad would take me every Memorial Day to the cemetery. Nobody else never mentioned before in my life, sir. But let me tell you something, just so you understand. I remember being a young kid, and I remember seeing Marines in dress blues coming in and honoring those that had fallen. And I remember you being there, sir. And I remember my dad saying, he's a Marine. And I remember being like, wow, I mean, Marines can be on TV and, do the news and stuff, Whether you realize it or not, you impacted me. You impacted me. And I became a Marine, okay? And that's the message that I want to get across to my brothers and sisters that have served. We have a duty, an obligation to be the best examples we can be to the rest of our fellow Americans of our values and our principles and what we believe in. Everything that you're willing to sacrifice for, everything that you're willing to fight for, you have to carry it out in the civilian world. You have to. Korean War veterans did it for us. World War II veterans did it for us. Like, go back to the dawn of the Republic. They've done it for us. From General Washington all the way to today. To the Vietnam generation. The thanks that we get right here, which is it's humbling, and anyone that, I don't deserve that's for sure. The thanks we get is because when y'all came back, you said that would never happen again. And y'all made successful lives and built families and served your community and did everything and ensured that when the 9/11 generation came and anyone that had fought in wars from Persian Gulf, everything after that we came back to a country with open and loving arms. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for that. And I also want to recognize my uncle's no longer with us. We're State Cemetery. He served in the Army, Daniel Hernandez, all right? Love that man. And he did the same thing. Championship. And I couldn't think of a better spot to be. There's no one there. Probably no one's gonna even remember what happened during fall ball or whatever. But the impact they made on those kids and taking time out to do that, that's what you should. I understand, I've been there. I've seen Marines give their last breath and spill blood on streets in a foreign land with my own eyes. I understand that we never quit. We take care of each other. We fight for what we want. Giving us chances, I promise you, these men and women will not let you down. Never forget, this is the greatest country on the face of the earth. Okay? And we live in the greatest state, and we live in the greatest, I think this is the greatest city on the face of the earth. All right? Doesn't mean we don't have problems. But let me tell you something. When we see something, we fix it, we help each other out. That's what it means to be Houstonian. God bless you, Super Fidelis, and I'm proud of each and every one of you that has worn the uniform and taken the risk and signed a check to include up to the amount of pain in your life. God bless you, Super Five.
Thank you, Captain Moran. If you were surprised by how articulate and dynamic Captain Moran is, you shouldn't be, because he's a Marine officer, and they're all like that. Can you imagine the leadership he provided to the men who fought alongside him, risking their lives, many of them being wounded like Captain Moran? That's the Marine Corps. And while we're on the subject, I don't think Captain Moran would mind if I mentioned that in the Marine Corps, aside from our fine officers, probably the most revered individuals in the Marine Corps are our Marine Sergeants Major. There are only a handful of them in the Marine Corps. Right next to the Commandant of the Marine Corps is the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps. Symbolizes the fact that sergeants in the Marine Corps provide so much for the leadership. This may be the last Sergeant Major you ever see, but
mountains majesty, from sea to shining sea. Oh, for heroes prove in liberating strife, who more than self their country love and mercy more than America, America. God shed His grace on thee and crown thy good, oh, with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Yeah, crown thy good brotherhood from sea to shining. Beautiful, spacious skies, forever waves of grain, for purple mountain majesty, above the fruited plain. Help me say, America, America. God shed His grace on thee. Crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea, shining sea. God bless America.
Oh, that was nothing short of amazing. Beautiful. I saw Al Green tapping his... Before we continue today, the Consulate General of France here in Houston, Valerie Brahaban. Now please welcome to the podium the Honorable Judge Erica Hughes from the Veterans Treatment Court to say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Veterans Day. And a special shout out to the Army HUA. I'm also a retired captain from the Army, so I get the opportunity to preside over the Harris County Veterans Treatment Court. In this court, we rehabilitate people to be active citizens back in the community, and we also clear their record after they have been in trouble in felonies or misdemeanors. So I would just like to encourage everyone to give back and support our veterans as a mentor, monetary donations, or even just show your face. It's a pleasure to see the veterans here, the ones who serve. I see some of the mentors here for the Veterans Court. It makes the difference for our brothers and sisters in arms. Everyone have a good day, and thank you for your service. God bless.
Thank you so much, Erica. We don't think about it a lot, but one of the reasons that we enjoy the good things that we have in Houston, Harris County, our surrounding area, and all of Texas is because of our congressional delegation. These men and women have our backs in Washington, and they do an outstanding job. We're honored to have a couple of them with us today. Please welcome Senator Ted Cruz.
Thank you so much, Bill. God bless the great state of Texas. It is great to be here celebrating the men and women who have served and defended our nation. Let me say, Dan, thank you for your tremendous remarks. They were powerful, they were inspiring, and they moved every single one of us. Mr. Mayor, let me say thank you for your friendship, thank you for your leadership. The one request I'd make of you is next year, Mayor, we need 9 more runs. I love the parade we're about to have, but I'd like to have another parade a few days earlier. And our dear friend Mattress Mac is ready to give away a whole bunch of mattresses. And Mr. Mayor, it may not be your job, but I talked to you earlier about it. Dear God, do not let Carlos Correa become a Yankee. We cannot let that happen. It is great to be here with heroes. It is great to be here with men and women who've risked everything to keep us safe. You know, as Americans, it's easy to take for granted the blessings we have. It's easy to take for granted the freedoms we enjoy. The freedom to start a business, the freedom to raise your kids, the freedom to speak, the freedom to worship, the freedom to keep and bear arms. All of those freedoms are integral to who we are as Americans. And yet none of them would exist were it not for the heroes we're honoring today. It is the men and women who took the oath. It is the men and women who answered the call. It is the men and women who stepped into harm's way and said, I will stand up against every enemy, foreign and domestic. They are the ones that preserve our liberties. They are the ones that keep us safe. They are the ones that keep America that shining city on a hill. You know, Captain Moran talked about, after what happened in Afghanistan, how hard it has been for so many veterans. I've heard from veterans across the state who are angry, who are demoralized, who are wondering, what the hell difference did it make? I want to tell you on behalf of 29 million Texans, if you served in Afghanistan, or if you served anywhere else, your service made a difference, your service mattered, and your service kept America safe. And we're here gathered today just to say thank you. You know, the state of Texas is a state that loves our veterans. Houston has the second highest veteran population of any city in the United States. And one of the things that's encouraging the men and women gathered on this stage, you see Democrats, you see Republicans. We have issues we might disagree on. If you're talking about the right tax rate, we might argue all night long. But when it comes to standing for the men and women who wore the uniform, who risked it all, we stand united, and to our veterans, let me tell you, we've got your back. You know, one of my favorite reflections on the importance of our veterans is a poem written by Charles Province called "It Is the Soldier." Many of us know this poem, but it captures how every liberty we have is due to their sacrifice. It is the soldier, not the minister, who gives us freedom of religion. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us freedom of the press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who has given us freedom to protest. It is the soldier, not the lawyer, especially not the lawyer, who has given us the right to a fair trial. It is the soldier, not the politician, especially not the politician, who has given us the right to vote. And it is the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag. We are here today very simply to say thank you to every soldier, to every sailor, to every airman, to every Marine, to every guardian and every guardsman. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you, and we are grateful for your heroism and your service. Thank you.
Of who we are as Americans. With all that we have encountered, the pandemics where veterans were lost in the battle of health, with wars around the world, challenges in Afghanistan, although the people we love. With all of that, that flag is still there. Good morning, veterans and military personnel. Good morning. Good morning, military families and veteran families. Good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning, Americans, my fellow Americans. Oh, I can't hear you. Are you there? Good morning, my fellow Americans.
Good morning.
To be able to be here with fellow elected officials, Mayor, thank you for continuing this tremendous tradition. Fellow colleagues in the United States Congress, and most especially those who have worn the uniform. Captain Moran, there are specialness to those who wear the title captain. For as you said, these are your men and women, and they're embedded in your heart. Thank you to my good friend, Mr. Jackson, who we have served together in the Boy Scouts, but he is truly symbolic of the Korean vets. And certainly to Mac McInvale, who has his own battle against that is not good, for he stands for good. He battles for all of us. Give him a very big hand, please. I had the privilege of going back to Ground Zero on the 20th commemoration. I had no offering of service, for I was in the United States Capitol on 9/11. I watched the billowing smoke as the Pentagon was hit. I saw the confusion as people were fleeing for their lives. I heard the rumors that they were hitting the White House, the State Department, the United States Capitol, Houston, Texas. Your mind wandered as you were running, not knowing where to go. None of us showing any great degree of knowledge to protect anyone else. You kept looking for those who were running and you kept encouraging them, keep running. But as in other tragedies and valleys in our life, who rose to the very occasion? For many of the men and women that are in this audience, who put on uniforms without thinking of themselves, coming away from the rural county areas, farms, urban centers, poverty, and elders. The men and women who wore the uniform. In the course of finding out that America's naivete had been ended, terrorists had hit the world towers, someone had to answer.
Done this once before.
Many of those we first saw were first responders that later took on the uniform of another kind and went to Afghanistan. This is symbolic of what you who are veterans have done in every time your nation has called upon you. And again, in all of that came upon us, that flag was still there. That is why we come today, to be able to honor each and every one of you for the lack of thought of yourself and your family, for running into danger and not away from danger, for running with mindset and understanding of what your mission is. That day in New York and commemorating the 20th was a very emotional time. But as we stood there, we were able to stand in freedom. We were able to stand in a rebuilt tribute to what America stands for. The tallest tower. We were able to hear the prayers, and we were free. So, Captain Moran, I am delighted to recognize and to pay homage and respect to your words, duty and obligation. All of us should stand for the examples of value and duty and principles, and yes, the message of our Constitution. We have come to create a more perfect union. So let me thank all of you for what you are and who you are. Let me make sure you know that we in Washington, although not perfect, made sure that we have sent money for Agent Orange. Thank you for your fight. We know what it was. Thank you for realizing that the veterans system must be fixed. And our message to you is no one should be turned away as a veteran, and everyone's injuries should be accounted for whatever they are. No one should see me on the streets and say, I have 100% injury and they won't give it to me. That's not what we do for our veterans.
Come on.
And we will fight with you and for you. So in my words to you, I want you to know that we will never forget. We'll never forget the Revolutionary War and the Civil War. We'll never forget the World War I and World War II. Never forget the Korean War, the Bosnian War, the Albanian War, the Vietnam War. We'll never forget Desert Storm. We'll never forget Operation Enduring Freedom. We'll never forget Operation Iraqi Freedom. We will never forget, not one moment, who you are and what you stand for. This is America, and it is only because of each and every one of you. God bless each and every one of you, and God bless America. Captain Moran, if you would just come forward, please. We have been honored by this great city, and we want to take this moment to honor you on behalf of your nation. We thank you, Captain Moran, for both your vision but your values. We see that you are not only one that is a captain, but we see that you are one who suffered war injuries. And God broke the knee. So grateful to God for that. And as we have lost my good friend Matt Cleland, triple amputee from Vietnam, and our General Colin Powell, and many others this year, we are grateful that you stand here today to receive us. I'd ask my congressional colleagues to come stand with me as we present to him this congressional resolution on behalf of all of us, if you would, and as well, we will not read it in its entirety. But it is the love that will give this certificate of congressional recognition to Daniel Patrick Moran, Keynote Speaker of the City of Houston's annual Houston Salutes American Heroes, but for your service in Fallujah and other places, for being a captain and taking care of the men and women under your command. Thank you for being a dedicated serviceman and veteran. Thank you for loving America. Thank you for being what America loves so much, the best in the world. United States Congress.
Green and I go back, Congressman Al Green and I go back over 40 years. Always been good friends. I've been in his congressional office. He invited me to the White House. And I'm just proud to have him as a friend. Congressman Al Green.
Woo! And I am equally as proud to have Bill as a friend. Would you kindly give him a big expression of love for the outstanding job that he's done each and every time we have this occasion. Dear friends, I am honored to recognize all of you who are here today, but I also think that we should recognize many who are not here today. These are the people who go to distant places. These are the people who wear the uniform. These are the people, many of whom do not return the same way they left. So regardless as to how we might feel about the various skirmishes around the world, We ought to want every one of them to come home safely. Let's hear it for those who are on the front line of democracy and faraway places. And while they are there, they have a support system back home. There are those who send them love in many ways. These are the husbands and wives and sons and daughters and aunts and uncles. If you are related to someone who is serving somewhere, would you stand at this time? Let's give them a hand, please. Those who are related to persons who are serving. They merit our love because of the love they impart to those who are serving. And finally, this bill, and Captain, I read somewhere, or maybe I heard somewhere, from the halls of Montezuma. This is the 246 yesterday. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country back in the air, of land, and sea. First, they fight for rights and freedom, and to keep their honor clean, they are proud to claim the title of the United States Marine. But here's the part that the other branches of the military. This is not the part that they enjoy hearing all the time. Correct. It is said that if the Army and the Navy could ever look on heaven's scene, they would find that the streets are guarded by the United States Marine. God bless you. I love my country. I love you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Another good friend. Please welcome Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia.
How am I going to follow that up? I can't say the word babies. But I will say this. I think many of you who know me know that I'm one of 10 children. I have 5 brothers, and there's of course 5 sisters. 3 of the 5 brothers were in the Air Force. Woo! And I see one back there. Maybe you can sing the song I can't, sir. I'll come visit with you later. Maybe I can be tutored right away. But you know, I do want to focus on that, and first I want to say, Mayor, thank you, as many have said, for continuing this tradition of having this here at this reflection pool, making sure that we honor our veterans. I know that I've been here probably to every single one because I've been in office for a while. But let me tell you, every single time that I come, I am more and more inspired. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. Muchísimas gracias for your service. Gracias por su servicio. What you do is so important. And I know that in a family that is a service family, there's nothing more important than seeing their loved one in that uniform and the medals and the regalia, if you will, of being in the service. I know my family, large as it is, it's always been about faith, family, and service. And service has included serving in the military. I've had a nephew who went to the Marines. I have a niece that went into the Navy. It's common in my family. In fact, when we gathered over the weekend for Thanksgiving, not Thanksgiving, but for our own Monday celebration, we always have the first Sunday of November, a mass for everyone that has died in my family. And when the priest says, Veterans Day is coming up, will all those who are veterans come up for a blessing? It's almost all my brothers, my brother-in-laws, my cousins, and then a few other people. Because in our church, you know, we believe in service, we believe in faith. And Father never forgets, just like we will never forget. So again, thank you so much for your service. We will continue fighting for you. I know that we do not forget you. My colleagues and I continue to work hard to bring better medical care and resources to our great veterans facility that we have here. I know I've been fighting hard to try to get a clinic in East Harris County to make sure everyone served. The next Build Back Better bill that we'll be voting on hopefully next week has $5 billion in it. To help with some of the facilities, to do some upgrades, to do some refurbishing, and to bring medical care to the over 500,000 veterans that are uninsured in our country. As was said by some of my colleagues, we have your back, but we've got to show it. We've got to make sure that we back that up with resources and tools to make you have a good quality of life. And ladies, we don't forget the ladies. You all know that it's been hard in some of the services for some of you. All of you know the work that I've done for Vanessa Guillen in tragic death that she endured at Fort Hood. But let me tell you, we are working hard to make sure that women, anyone that is harassed, assaulted, or bullied, has a way for them to complain without fear and outside of the chain of command. So rest assured that we will not stop until we make sure that all the services do what's right by their soldiers, and that their soldiers will continue to do what's right for our country and being there to defend us and make sure our democracy thrives. So thank you again. Muchísimas gracias a todos los veteranos. Adiós.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Would you please stand? A moment of silence, which will be shattered at the alert by a 21-gun salute by 813th U.S. Infantry, followed by taps by Lieutenant Andrew Brody. you, Kelly. Please be seated, ladies and gentlemen. As sometimes happens, the 11th hour struck before our final speaker, from whom we will hear now. She came into this, but I don't know there are any two harder jobs in the world than being mayor of Houston and county judge of Harris County, and they have really been overloaded in the last few years. Starting Harvey and one thing and another, and navigated it all so beautifully. Please welcome County Judge Nina Hidalgo.
Well, it's a joyous day. The sun, as the mayor promised, look at it, it's up. So good that we stayed. Look, today we gather as a nation to honor our veterans. And today we celebrate the heroism of so many walking right here with us. And we're inspired by their stories. I know I've been inspired by all of these stories, by the beautiful singing, by the beautiful music, by just remembering and celebrating. Truly today, I think we can say we all feel a little more patriotic. But true patriotism on this front, I think, is getting back to work tomorrow for our veterans, and the day after that, and every day after that. And so as we thank our veterans, to whom we owe an enormous debt of gratitude, I want to just call your attention to retired Colonel Dave Lewis, who is the head of our Veterans Services Department, 29 years after the duty. When we came into office, we got right to work creating a standalone Veterans Services Department. We doubled the budget for Veterans Services, and under Colonel Lewis's leadership, we doubled down our efforts. So I want our veterans to know, in Harris County, home to the largest population of veterans in our great state of Texas, we are working for you. We created a dedicated service line so the veterans can get access to the services they deserve. We've had twice as many claims and appeals as before. We are working for the small percentage of veterans who have a harder time jumping right back into civilian life, making sure we're meeting them where they're at. And we're going to continue to do that. So I carry that feeling with me. I'm sure all of you here do. Into tomorrow, into every day, these veterans deserve our gratitude. Thank you to our veterans on behalf of Harris County. Thank you to their families. Thank you to all of you here for protecting the American ideals that not only keep our country great, but that inspire countless people around the globe to fight for their freedom. Thank you, God bless America.
Thank you, Judge Hidalgo. Please stand, ladies and gentlemen, for the benediction. Air Force veteran, Captain, Chaplain Ann Luna.
Will you please bow your heads with me? Lord, as we depart to go our separate ways, we ask your blessing for our nation. Grant us strength and courage to carry on in service to you, our God, and to our country. Challenge us by our example to honor our veterans, both living and departed, each and every day. Be with our government and military leaders and those that represent us in our local and state government. Bless our veterans who lie in sickness and poor health. Grant them comfort and knowledge that they are not forgotten. Bless the families of those whose loved ones are still listed as POWs or MIAs. Renew each of us to continue to serve God and country. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Luna. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's ceremony. We thank you very much for coming out today. We ask that you stay with the parade, which begins in about 18 minutes or so. And if you're in the parade, please make your way immediately to the staging area. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.